Section 2, Group 4, and our case is Fundación Santa Teresa. Our group members are Patricia Marino, Edward Pizzurro, Gerardo Mazzeo, and Andrea Parma. I am Andrea Parma and I will present the introduction. Ron Santa Teresa is a brand that produces rum based in Venezuela. It is the first in the country with more than 220 years of tradition in the manufacture of aged rums. It is currently chaired by the Venezuelan businessman Alberto Bormer, who belonged to the fifth generation of the family dedicated to the production of rums in Venezuela. The Ron Santa Teresa brand is not only known for its products, but also for its social projects, which are carried also by Santa Teresa Foundation, Programa Alcatraz, Santa Teresa Rugby, and Programa Casablanca. The company is located in the state of Aragua, in La Victoria, Carretera Panamericana, Municipality Revenga, El Consejo. Was founded in 1796 by Martin Tobar Ponte, are currently a modern agro-industrial, tourist and sport complex. Annually, the farm receives more than 100,000 visitors who can learn about its history and the rum product process, in addition to the events that support the management of the Santa Teresa Foundation. The Santa Teresa Gallery, the result of the architectural intervention of the first baking plant of Ron Santa Teresa, is a setting that becomes the center of events, corporate meetings, and celebrations. It is there, in that same facility where the private winery is located, which is the one that presents the barrels where the more exclusive rum of the Santa Teresa house in 1965, at the time of opening the CA's Ron Santa Teresa, is presented to the market with three products, Carta Blanca, Carta Roja, and Popular. But the overwhelming success of company leads to the launch of Gran Reserva. Between 1965 and 1968, they present Carta de Oro, Senador Plata, and Senador Oro. In 1969, they commercialized Colonial, and in 1974, they present Superior, another one of the recognized products of the brand.
My name is Edward Pizzurro, and I will be presenting the problem that the company Hacienda Santa Teresa solved, which was how to stop the crime done by the gangs in the neighborhood. Back in 2003, when Hugo Chavez was the president of Venezuela, the number of assaults, robs, and homicides was shocking. You can see that reflected in the homicide rate of the country, which was about 114 per 100,000 people, the second highest in the world after Honduras. Currently, Venezuela have the number one homicide rate in the world. Hacienda Santa Teresa was not the exception in this horrible scenario. The young gangs controlled the neighborhood, and they were robbing and assaulting all the people that lived around, especially the workers in the Hacienda Santa Teresa. In addition to this, there were a lot of police officers that were corrupt, meaning that if you call them, they would have taken advantage of the situation, and they wouldn't have solved the problem, which is basically why you're calling them. An example of this situation was one day back in 2003 when Alberto Volmer told to his security chief to find the guys that forced into the Hacienda Santa Teresa. After 1 week, the chief security found one guy which was a member of the Placita gang. They decided to turn him to the police so they can solve the problem. When they saw that the police officers were going to execute him, the chief security decided to negotiate with these police officers, and they bring back the guy to the Hacienda Santa Teresa. That was the time that Alberto Volmer had the best idea of what he think what they can do to solve the problem, so the gang members wouldn't force into the Hacienda Santa Teresa again. So with all this situation, he had the best idea. The members of the Hacienda Santa Teresa were trying to solve the problem of the crime and the gang members forcing into the hacienda. They proposed a lot of ideas, but the best idea was the one that Alberto Volmer had, which was to implement the gang members into the work zones of the Hacienda Santa Teresa, so they could have something to do with their life. They could have a job. They would be in a better way. That's how the Alcatraz project was born. The idea to implement the gang members into the work zones of the hacienda was brilliant, not only because they were solving the problem of the crime and the gang forcing into the hacienda constantly, but they were offering a better life to the gang members. They were offering something to do with their life. The Alcatraz project was not only about offering jobs to gang members. It was they also was offering an opportunity to the gang members to play the sport.
I am Patricia Marino and I will present the problem description. This company solved the problem of insecurity and crime presented at the Hacienda Santa Teresa and its surroundings by implementing one project. This program is an initiative by the Santa Teresa Fundación and consists of the recruitment of gang members in the Reverenda municipality in Aragua, Venezuela. The name comes from the famous Alcatraz prison located in United States, California, but with the difference that in this case, each gang member is their own prison and the real challenge is to escape from themselves. They are just given their last opportunity. The program is organized in 3 phases and it's carried out by a team that counts on educators, psychologists, and members of the community. The first phase is isolation. It consists of a period in which the participants are separated from their environment to begin the reprogramming of a new lifestyle. For 3 months, they take part in a program that includes intensive work, comprehensive education in values, community service, and rugby practice. In the second phase, community reintegration, the participants return to their community. This is a fundamental step for the restoration of trust and acceptance of the young person within the community. In this period, they also carry out community work. At the end of the program, the participants enter a follow-up stage in which they receive support for a year from another graduate trainee as a guide in order to help them to consolidate their new life. The objective of reinserting these gangs to society is to solve 2 of the most severe problems affecting the community: delinquency and unemployment. The success of the Alcatraz project depends on a large extent on the strategic alliances it establishes, aside from the support of the Mayor's Office of the Reverenda municipality. This social work is one of the biggest and most influential that currently exists in Venezuela and generates a very positive impact because it has served as an example to inspire different companies to carry out social projects, and it has become very positive to our country. Each day, the numbers of beneficiaries of the project increase, as well as the numbers of companies that wish to help and become part of it.
Results and conclusion. Finally, we can affirm that the Alcatraz project was a success as reflected in its results. This project is also one of the 5 that are developed in Venezuela by private sector companies. The Alcatraz project has benefited young people who present inappropriate behaviors, which can represent a threat to society. Through sports, social inclusion, and the learning of values, the project focuses on redirecting the behavior of these people so that they represent a positive contribution to society. The project is divided to 3 parts, and rugby was included as the official sport of the project. This last idea gave very good results for the project. which day by day contribute to social goods. The results of the project were since 2003, it has managed to demolish 9 groups of young people, which has had an impact on the reduction of homicide rate. In its first 10 years of discussion, it helped to reduce the homicide rate from 114 per 1,000 inhabitants in 2003 to 24 per 100,000 in 2014. He has trained 5 cohorts of retracted justice diploma to raise awareness of the need for reparation of forgiveness of damage to officers of the police, the judiciary, community, leaders, residents of the municipality, and graduate of the Alcatraz project.
I recall the past.